You were about to enter Chuck versus the podcast, the place for people who love Chuck and the people who work on Chuck. The only show that takes you behind the scenes with the stars.
Yvonne Strahovski.
Zachary Levi. Joshua Gomez.
Ryan McParland.
Adam Balba.
Sarah Lancaster.
Interactive interviews.
Julia Ling.
Phil Clemmer.
All the cast.
Dixon High. Tony Hale. Scott Krinsky. Mark Christopher Lawrence.
Anita Friederici.
Fun hosts.
This is Mel. This is Liz. Now you can see how wacko we are.
The writers.
Allie Adler. Scott Rosenbaum. Zev Barrow.
The editors.
Matt Barber. Jeff Granville. Kevin Mock.
Contests.
We are giving away a Chuck press kit.
The directors.
Jason Ensley. Norman Buckley.
The guest stars.
Steve Austin.
Kristen Group.
The music.
This is Tim Jones.
Guest hosts.
I'm Kaylee from Toronto.
Conventions.
Lights come up, and here comes Jester out on stage.
Set visits.
This is the guy right here.
And much more. Are you ready?
This is Mel.
This is Liz.
And we want to welcome you to Chuck versus the podcast number 62 for Friday, July 16th, 2010. We are gearing up for Comic-Con next week and wanted to share a preview of what's on tap, plus the latest Chuck news and spoilers.
We'll start off with the news that Merritt Yonka, the stunt coordinator for Chuck, has earned his third consecutive Emmy nomination. The nod this year is for his work on 310, which is Chuck versus the Tic Tac, one of fan favorites. And that saw all three of Team Bartowski getting physical. Can Merritt make it a three-peat? Gotta see. The Emmy Awards ceremony, hosted by Jimmy Fallon, will air live coast to coast on NBC Sunday, August 29th at 8, 7 Central.
In interview news, Zach and Josh talked to Collider.com at the Saturn Awards and shared their thoughts on Chuck Season 3, on Tron the Legacy, the new film that's in the works, E3, the big gaming convention that we talked about last time, and The Hobbit. News had just broken that Guillermo del Toro had stepped down as director, and now it looks like Peter Jackson's going to take over the reins of that film. So Collider got their thoughts on all of the above. And also, Chuck Bartowski Italia interviewed Fahim Anwar, remember Manouche from Chuck versus the Nacho Sampler? And they translated the interview to English for us to post over at chucktv.net. It's a pretty good one. We encourage you guys to go over and read that. So we want to thank Chuck Bartowski Italia for sharing that. And both of those are posted at chucktv.net.
Fox has confirmed that Zachary Levi and Yvonne Strahovski will be presenters at the Teen Choice Awards, airing Monday, August 9th on Fox. Chuck is nominated for awards in 3 categories. Choice TV Show for Action. Choice TV Actor Action is Zachary Levi. And Choice TV Actress in Action is Yvonne Strahovski, of course. Fans ages 13 to 19 can vote for their picks once per day at teenchoiceawards.com.
Very, very cool. Awards mounting up.
Mm-hmm.
Chuck Season 3 is now airing in Latin America on Warner Channel, Mondays at 10 p.m. And the season begins airing on Fox 8 in Australia on Thursday, July 29th. And thanks to Adam Rafiefa and Andres for the heads up on all of that information.
That's cool. And the winners are already polishing their virtual trophies in the 2009-2010 Awesome Awards for Excellence in Chuck Fan Fiction, hosted by fanfiction.net. To find out who they are, stop by chucktv.net and watch the award video.
And now let's get to some Comic-Con details. The Chuck panel is Saturday, July 24th at 10 a.m. in Ballroom 20. We'll see you there. And we're wondering what they can do to top last year's Jester opening. I mean, there's no way. I don't know. What could they possibly do? Maybe have a sing-along episode. I don't know.
Yeah.
Zach, Yvonne, Adam, Josh, Ryan, Mark Christopher Lawrence, Scott, Vic, Schwartz, and Fedak are all confirmed to attend this panel. And we'll be covering, of course, the panel and the press room again this year. So if you have a question you'd like answered, stop by chucktv.net and fill out the handy-dandy form we have set up for you. We've already got a lot of really great questions sent in from fans. We'd like to hear yours, and we cannot ask all of the questions, but we'll do our best to get the burning questions answered for you.
In addition to the Chuck panel, Zach will be participating in the TV Guide Hot List 2010 panel on Friday night at 6:30 p.m. in Ballroom 20. Then on Saturday evening, Yvonne is hosting a charity tournament in L.A. to raise money for the Kenmar Dog Rescue. So, but if you can't make it to LA, join us for our second annual ChuckTV.net Comic-Con fan meetup. That will be Saturday night at 6:30 p.m. Please RSVP at ChuckTV.net for details and so that we can have a head count.
Yeah. In late breaking news, Geek Tyrant just broke that Zachary Levi has auditioned for a role in the new Superman movie coming from Warner Brothers. They can't confirm which role he auditioned for, but they think it was, in fact, Clark Kent / Superman himself, which would be pretty ironic considering Brandon Routh had the job last. And yeah, it's unconfirmed at this time. They have to put it under the realm of rumor, but they say their sources are pretty slam dunk. So we'll see how that pans out. I'm not sure what I think about Zach as Clark Kent. I think he could pull it off. It'd be an entirely different sensibility for the films, I think. Yeah,
he's going to have to pump up that volume, though.
Yeah, he's a little bit, what do he say, lanky, like his noodle arms. But he does pretty well butt kicking on Chuck, so we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Also in the realm of rumor, but probably true, is that Jonathan Nolan, the brother of Christopher Nolan, who directed, of course, The Dark Knight and Inception, that opens this weekend, is on track to direct the film. So that could be a really interesting pairing. Really interesting pairing. Anyway, let's get to some listener emails. We've got an email from Gord, a longtime fan. He comments frequently on ChuckTV.net, and I know he listens to pretty much every podcast. Hi, Gord. He says, "Hi, Mel, Liz, and Gray. I was just wondering, with it looking like the Buy More is no more, will they change the opening credits for the show? Have you heard any buzz about what the credits will look like? I'm hoping they don't change the opening song, but I'm wondering if they will use short clips taken from previous seasons. Also, if they do use clips, they just have to use a short clip from that amazing Chuck Sarah dance fight in Honeymooners as part of it." Gord, that's a really good question. I hadn't thought about that. Because, of course, the title credits are based on the Nerd Herd name tag. And, well, to start off with, I mean, then they move into the spy thing. But, I don't know. What do you think? Will they change them?
I don't know. It's hard to say.
I haven't heard anything about them changing it, but maybe.
Yeah, or they might just keep it. Other shows have kept, their original for years and years and years. They haven't changed anything. I'm thinking of Psych is one of those shows. They're starting their 5th season, and I think that this year they're finally changing something up, but that's after 5 seasons, so it doesn't. But I don't know, with the Buy More, like he said, with the Buy More gone, that might make a difference. So I don't know. Be fun to see.
If they do come up with something new, I bet it's going to be pretty cool, because the original credits, they got nominated for an Emmy back in the 1st season. That's how cool they are.
I think they're so cool as is, so I hope they don't change them.
Or if they do, maybe just the same style, but with the new graphics.
Yeah.
That could work.
Yeah, but I'd miss the little guy.
I don't know. The little guy dropping out of his nose, I wouldn't miss that.
Yeah.
That grosses me out every time.
All right. Should we move on?
Yes. Thanks, Gord. That's food for thought.
We have an email from Susan from Florida. How's the weather down there, Susan? She says, "Hi, I was wondering if y'all had heard if they were going to do, and if they were going to go into Ellie's background this season. I think it would be very interesting because basically Ellie became a single mom in her teens. How she handled the stress, the loss of both parents, still did a great job taking care of Chuck, and put herself through medical school, at least deserves a flashback. Maybe since I'm a single mom of a 12-year-old son, I can relate to Ellie more. Being a single mom is rewarding, and I would not trade it for anything, but it can be hard work. I work and have gone back to college, and it's not easy. Plus, I think Sarah Lancaster has done a great job with whatever they've given her to do. I hope she's more involved this season. I vote they take the time to spend on PLIs and give it to Ellie. Maybe you could ask them at Comic-Con. What do you think? Is Ellie going to be more involved? Hope you don't mind the email. You said on the podcast to email you. Love your podcast and the work you guys do for all us Chucksters. See ya, Susan from Florida. Well, we don't mind your email, Susan, and we do invite all emails, and thanks for yours. I don't see them going too much more into her background unless it's related to the story that they're telling for that episode. If it's relevant to moving a story along, they'll certainly do that. It would be cool to see. If you're right, she did become virtually a mom, a single mom, very young. But again, I think unless it's relevant to the story and moving the story along, they might not do it. But I could see Ellie. I mean, I think Ellie is going to be more involved in the next season anyway.
I think that with the reappearance of Mama B, there might be some opportunity for, you know how they love to do the parallels. There may be some opportunities to tell Ellie's kind of flashback story in context of Mama Bartowski as a parallel there. That's really good points that you bring up, though, Susan. It hadn't really clicked for me that not only had she taken over the role as Chuck's mom, but somehow she made it through medical school. I don't know how she did that.
Yeah.
Now I want to know.
Yeah.
Now I need the answers.
Now it makes Ellie look even, tougher.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. And not only that, but Chuck got into Stanford somehow under her care.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you know what? We do need some more information about Ellie and what happened in those missing years. So we've had a lot of people wondering about Ellie, and so that's definitely going to be on our question list for both the creators and Sarah Lancaster at Comic-Con. So we hope to get some answers for you.
Yeah. Thanks, Susan.
Well, that wraps our listener emails for this time around. We want to quickly thank our sponsors, MovieMorons.com. It's a podcast about movies, and you can check them out at MovieMorons.com for all the latest summer film information and chatter. And, of course, SyrianJunkies.de, the largest television fan site in Germany. They have a new podcast of their own that you ought to check out. It's pretty slick. SyrianJunkies.de.
Hello, this is Christina Caramel from Serienjunkies TV. Are you addicted to TV shows? Be our guests and learn the latest news and reflections on what's going on in the world of TV series. Well, our show is in German, but maybe you want to drop in anyway? Then visit www.serienjunkies.de and watch out for our video podcast. See you.
Thank you to all of our sponsors. We sure do appreciate it.
Indeed. We do have a spoiler to share, so if you want to stay spoiler-free, now is the time to turn us off. Remember, if you have any questions or comments to share, please email us at mail@chuckpodcast.com.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Okay, well, Chuck starts filming next week, so we are starting to get a little bit of scoop, and Asialo had something for us. It's not earth-shattering, but it's definitely worth mentioning. Charles sent in a question, said, is John Casey's daughter Alex, a.k.a. McKenna Melvin, going to be a series regular next season on Chuck? And Asialo says, she'll be the next best thing to a series regular, a recurring guest star. And then Asialo says that noise you hear is Morgan fantasizing about their awkward first date. I think most of us did assume that Alex would be back, but it is nice to have confirmation. And that noise you hear is us giggling about Casey's reaction to Morgan and Alex's first date.
He'll be pulling out all the weaponry.
Mm-hmm. Watch your back, Morgan.
That's right. He has no fear, Morgan. He has no fear. Well, that's a wrap for this week. Our next podcast will be chock full of Comic-Con goodies, and we're so excited. We can't wait. So be sure to subscribe to our RSS feeds on blip.tv, chuckpodcast.com, and chucktv.net so you don't miss a thing. For up-to-the-minute information, follow us on Twitter at chucktv.net and at Gray Jones. See ya.
Bye, guys.